Hello, this is AstrAna and I'm going to show you all about astrology. Hello everyone, before we start this episode, I just wanted to tell you about the newest part of my project. You come here to my website and you will see that you can get a booklet of vegan recipes to balance out the elements. So if you're interested, take a look. Just for a quick introduction, so you have the planets Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. They're all considered astrological planets, and you have the classic ones and the modern ones. When we talk about Sun, we talk about what brings us to life, that inner sparkle, and that's what we are going to talk about on this episode. The sun could be in any sign, in any house. Well, in my case, if you look at the map, it's in Cancer on house number 7. By far the most source of energy that we have, and astrological speaking, the sun is usually thought to represent the conscious ego, the self and its expression, personal power, pride and authority, leadership qualities and the principles of creativity, spontaneity, health and vitality, the sum of which is named the life force. The sun travels through the 12 signs of the zodiac on its annual journey, spanning about a month in each. We are going to focus now on what does the sun mean on each sign. A sun in a fire sign can be quite explosive, independent, energetic, adventurous, and proud. So when we speak about Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, they kind of all have these characteristics, even though Aries is cardinal, Leo is fixed, Sagittarius is mutable, so it can change between their three, but they all have very fiery characteristics. So when your sun is on an earth sign, it would mean that it's either Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Even though one is cardinal, the other is fixed, and the last one is mutable, tendentially they all have their feet on the ground, and they all have these characteristics of being moderate, stable, methodical, wise, and serious. If your sun is on an air sign, well, that means that you're either a cardinal Libra, a fixed Aquarius, or a mutable Gemini. All the air signs are light, talkative, rational, sociable, and brilliant. So these are the generic characteristics of the air signs. Each one has their particularly characteristic, but yet again they're all air. Now talking about the sun in water, just to give you my personal example, because my sun, not just my sun, but now I'm talking about my sun is in Cancer. I do relate to caring about family and the loved ones, so that's an intrinsic characteristic of mine. But then again, you also have Scorpio and Pisces, so all the water signs tend to be quite sensible, tender, affectuous, artistic, and protective. There's a lot to say about the astrological houses, but now I will just give a quick preview so you can understand that depending where the sun is on the chart, it has a value towards the sign and also the house. It all begins on the ascendant, but we'll get into detail on another episode about that. And then you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They all have meanings, and we're going to explore that now. When the sun is on the first house, we can definitely say that it's about someone who is noticeable, someone flamboyant, someone colorful. Okay, so because about house number 2 is about self-esteem, self-value, talents, personal resources, and it's the house of Taurus too, we can say that if a person has the sun on this house, it's definitely someone who likes to build by their own hands. It wants and has actually real self-realization. So house number 3 is all about learning, daily basis, communication, and living the now. So it feels natural that if someone has their son on the house number 3, this person usually has a very good voice, likes to write, likes the television world, or relates to transportation, likes to learn practical intellectual things. There is a camaraderie spirit, likes to live the present, carpe diem, etc. It's a very practical house. Now, the house number 4, which is the house related to Cancer, has to do with family and connection to the past. So when a person has their son in this house, is someone who cares about properties, heritage, patrimony, their own father, because this is the house of the family. And even though, for example, my son's sign is in Cancer, it does not mean it's in this house. So it's on house number 7, but in Cancer. So they don't actually have to be on the sign of the house. Sun in house number 5 speaks about someone who's good at having fun. He likes that kind of life, the show business, the party, creativity, arts. The sun on this house is related to Virgo themes, which are mainly work. So it would mean that the person, whichever the sign is, but if it has a sun on this house, they would relate to duty. They would want to be specialists in their area and king of their job, basically. Someone who has the sun on house number 7 needs to have pride on their partner and lives in the function of other. They cause good impacts in relationships with other people. Sun in house 8, it's all about intimacy, healing questions, passion, spirituality. They develop real passions and crushes, and they do have personal power. If you have your sun in the 9th house, this would mean that you would be dealing with Sagittarius kind of themes, and those would be faith, studies, foreigners, foreign things, basically, whatever you believe in, and cultures, principles, moral values, and studies. Now, if you have your sun in house number 10, doesn't matter if you're Capricorn or if you have another zodiac sign for your sun, it is regarding profession, power, and leadership. So even if you have another sign on your sun and in this house, it will mean that you can relate to this. So this is the Aquarius house. But even if you are another sun sign and you have the sun on this house, you will truly relate with community, marriage, friends, social expression. You like to be in groups, and it's about relationships that you can improve socially. Now, the most mysterious house, when we have our sun on the 12th house, we can give you some tips of what it can mean, but actually no one knows really for sure. But we do know that it was the sun sign, not the sun sign, sorry, it was the sun house of Gandhi and of many politicians, martyrs. It's so related to spirituality, and also to escape, like in the form of drunkenness or on vices, and it relates also to hidden stuff, to the beyond, to what you cannot see. During this part of the project, I will dedicate each episode to a planet, and I will tell you what does it mean on this particular house and this sign. And well, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a reading, feel free to contact me, and I'll see you next episode.